I will multiply a and c from the original equation. Both are negative, then only I'll get negative 8, right? Alpha plus beta negative b by a. Hey students, welcome back to the YouTube channel Vidhyapeetha 9th and 10th, and we have come up with the third session of polynomials, and I am Sandhya Srihari, your educator, your mentor, your friend, and various other things we can do together. So in this session I have come up with the polynomials third session, in which we'll be briefing many of the important things as well as doing the NCERT questions also. Let us just analyze what is the content of the session. The content says we'll just first of all recall about the splitting the middle term of class 9th. That is factorization technique of class 9th we'll be recalling, because many of the students find it difficult. I want all my students to be well versed in the basic concepts, so doing all the basic concepts whenever a concept is starting. In the previous video you might have seen we have started about the Cartesian plane. Before that I taught you what is a Cartesian plane, what is the sign convection, and how to plot it on the graph, right? So never mind, even if you have reached 10th and not having a good basic knowledge on maths, you can just write whatever concepts you want me to do it. I will just try to figure out all the videos for you. Alright, so the second content here will be learning about the important topic of the chapter called as relation between coefficients and zeros of the polynomial. As well as I will make you analyze some important examples, and we'll also be learning about exercise 2.2 in a very nice manner. So moving ahead, let us start the class and learn and go to the depth of maths. Maths is the mental ability for anybody to have success. Mental ability for any person to have success is maths, and let us just recall the important topic of the session called as splitting the middle term or factorization. Factorization is an important and unique methodology in maths, which is giving us a written format of finding the zeros of the given equation. In factorization, we are majorly concentrating on the quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation in which we have the degree of the variable as 2. The highest power of the variable is 2. That means we should have 2 zeros for it. So I am taking an example of a quadratic equation which is called as 2x square minus 8x plus 8. And we are going to learn about this concept called as splitting the middle term. In splitting the middle term, we have 3 different steps. First step, I will write the general form of the equation. General form of a quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. Ax square plus bx plus c is the general form of the quadratic equation. When I have to split this, I will first multiply a and c. A is the coefficient of x square and c is a constant. I will multiply a and c from the original equation. What is a from the original equation? Let us write it down in one corner. A is 2, b is negative 8, and c is 6. So I have to multiply a and c. That means 2 into 6, which is 12. After writing this, I will find the multiples of 12. 12 comes in various tables, like 1 12 is 12, 3 4 is 12, 2 6 is 12, and the reverse order is also true. Now we will consider this as pair. I will consider this as the first pair, 1 and 12 as the first pair, 3 and 4 as the second pair, 2 and 6 as the third pair. Now looking at these pairs, if I am adding or subtracting these pairs, I have to get the middle person, that is b. b is negative 8 here. So when I add 1 and 12, I'll get 13, or subtract 1 and 12, I'll get 11. Same way, adding 3 plus 4 is giving me 7, subtracting 3 and 4 is giving me 1. Adding 2 and 6 is giving me plus 8, but I want negative 8. So I'll take both the terms to be negative. I'll take negative 2 and negative 6. So minus 2 minus 6 is giving me minus 8. After finding this type of factors, I will go to the original equation. The third step says, I'll write the first term which is 2x square as it is. I'll write the last term which is plus 6 as it is. In between, instead of the negative 8x, I will take this splitted format, that is minus 2x plus 6x. Sorry, negative 6x. Both are negative, then only I'll get negative 8, right? So 2x square minus 2x minus 6x plus 6. How can I split this? This is 2 into x into x. This is 2 into x into 1. 6 into x into 1 minus 6 into 1. So, when I am considering this as one unique term and this as one unique term, out of these two terms I have 2x common. I am taking the 2x out, x retains minus 1. Just keep a note on the terms what we are writing here. If I take 2x out, x is retaining. If I take 2x out, minus 1 is retaining. As simple as that. So minus, if I take 6 and 6 is common here, 6 out, I have x retaining and negative 1 retaining. Why did I write negative here? Because negative into negative is positive. That is the reason we are writing negative 1 here. Whatever is there in the first bracketed term, I have to get the same second bracketed term as well. So now considering this as the first term and this as another term, I'll have x minus 1 common. If I take x minus 1 here, 2x retains. If I take x minus 1 here, negative 6 retains. Therefore, I can say the factors of the given polynomial 2x square minus 8x plus 6 is x minus 1 and 2x minus 6. I hope this is clear for you all, because without factorization, I cannot do any further part of the chapter at all. It's a simple technique. Whatever is there in the first term, I'll just quickly recap it. First, I have to multiply a and c, which was 2, 6 are 12. Then I found the factors of 12. After finding, I'll consider the factors as pairs. When I add it or subtract the pairs, I have to get the middle term. That is the two unique steps. After I found that, in the third step, I'll write the first term as it is, last term as it is. In between, instead of the middle term, that is minus 8x, I am writing minus 2x minus 6x. Getting it? Minus 2x minus 6x. Then I am taking the important terms which are out, which can be taken as common, splitting them, and I am getting the factors as x minus 1 and 2x minus 6. So this is factorizing or splitting the middle term technique. Whatever questions you are unable to do, comment me below so that I will be able to solve it for you in the form of a video, and you will be able to get the concept clarity with me. Alright? Let us go to the next slide. In this slide, we will be learning about relationship between zeros and coefficient of the polynomial. What do I mean by relationship between the zeros? Whenever I say a quadratic polynomial, the general form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. We all know this. By this time, your minds have to be adjusted to this equation. Ax square plus bx plus c, correct? So whenever an equation is quadratic, that means I should have two zeros for it or two roots for it. So I have also told you, if it is a quadratic format, the first zero is alpha, the second zero is beta. So in this chapter, they are giving us a relationship between the alpha and beta, and they are giving us a technique through which I can easily verify them as well. So in the first equation, I have taken an example, 3x square plus 5x minus 2. Splitting the middle term is the only technique through which we can easily find the zeros. So first, I'll multiply a and c. What is a? A is 3. What is c? Negative 2. So my product is minus 6. My product is minus 6. Now I have to find the multiples of 6. 6 ones are 6. But I have plus 6 here, plus 5 as my middle term. So I will take plus 6 and minus 1, that is giving me plus 5. So in the second step, as I told you, first I'll write the first term as it is 3x square, the last term as it is negative 2. Instead of the middle term 5x, I'll be writing the product of this, that is plus 6x and minus 1x. Plus 6 and minus 1 should give me the middle term, that is plus 5. Alright, now splitting this, 3 into x into x, 2 into 3 into x, 1 into x and 2 into 1. I have just written the elaborated format of 3x square, 6x, 1x and 2. Considering this as one pair and this as one pair, analyze what is common here. 3x is common, 3x is common. So I'll take 3x out. I'll be left with x plus 2. In this term, I have one common and one common. So I'll take negative 1 out. X plus 2 as common. See, even though the sign of 2 is negative here, we'll write plus because negative into positive is giving me negative. Whatever is there in this bracket has to be there here also. So I'll take x plus 2 common now. So the other term is 3x minus 1. When we equate these two terms to 0, that is x plus 2 equated to 0, x is negative 2. 3x minus 1 equated to 0, x is 1 by 3. So I'll call this as alpha, this as beta. Now what was our first step? First step, any equation given, I have to split the middle term and directly find what is alpha, beta using the taught technique. After I find alpha and beta, the slide is telling me a relationship between the zeros. What is the relationship? What is the connection between alpha and beta? So the first connection is called as sum of roots. Sum of roots is represented by alpha plus beta, which is always equal to negative b by a. Which is always equal to negative b by a. So from the equation, what was my alpha? My alpha is negative 2 and beta is 1 by 3. I need to take LCM here. My LCM is 3. I'll multiply it with 2 and with 3 and with 3. So negative 6 plus 1, which is negative 5 by 3. This was my LHS part. When I come to the RHS part, it is negative b by a. So from the equation, I have to just check what is negative b. Negative sign, what is b? That is 5 by what is a? That is 3. This and this has to be equal. Then only we can analyze that the factors or the alpha and beta value what we have found is going to be correct or not. In this portion, while taking LCM and simplifying, please be careful with negative and positive terminologies so that you are not missing and losing marks here. So the first relationship between the zeros is called as sum of roots, always equal to alpha plus beta, determined by negative b by a. Negative b is the coefficient of x and a is the coefficient of x square. We can even write it equal to coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square will also be the formula related to the same sum of roots. Alright, now the second relationship between the alpha and beta is called as product of root. Product of root is determined by alpha into beta, which is always equal to c by a. What is c? C is the constant term and a is the coefficient of x square. So I can say constant divided by coefficient of x square will give me the product of the roots. So my alpha from this equation, taking the example, what was my alpha? That is negative 2. What is beta? 1 by 3. So the product of these two is giving me negative 2 by 3. Negative 2 by 3. When I come to the RHS is c by a. So what is c from the equation? C is negative 2 here. C is negative 2. So I'll substitute c value as negative 2 And what is A? A is positive 3. So I am getting the exact LHS and RHS to be equal to each other. Therefore, we have verified the equation with respect to the coefficient or the relationship between the zeros. So in this question, what and all we are able to just analyze. First, any quadratic equation given, I can split and find two important roots. Because it's a quadratic, I need two roots. So the two roots of the equation I can easily find out, and I'll name those roots as alpha and beta. Alpha and beta. When I find alpha and beta, I have to check whether whatever I have done is going to be right or wrong. So I'll be using the technique of sum of roots and product of root to find the relationship between them. Sum of root, we'll write it as SOR is equal to just adding up the roots. According to the formula, it is coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square, or also called as minus b by a. Product of root is alpha into beta. According to the formula, it will be constant divided by coefficient of x square, that is c by a. Just substitute the values of alpha beta in a separate column with respect to LHS and RHS. Your LHS should be equal to your RHS. Then your answer is going to be perfect. I hope this is clear, and we'll be just learning many more examples related to the same topic in the next part of the video. Moving on. Just giving a conclusion about what was alpha plus beta and alpha into beta. Pause the video and make a note of these formulas. Sum of zeros is called as alpha plus beta minus b by a, as told to you. Product of root is called as alpha into beta, represented by c by a. Pause the video, make a note of it, or just take a screenshot so that you can add it on to your formula section. Then we have a question based on the same. The question says, find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. The quadratic polynomial is given to me. The polynomial is x square plus 7x plus 10. The given polynomial is x square plus 7x plus 10. Let me just quickly write it down in one corner. And what are they telling me to find out? They are telling me to find or verify relationship of zeros and the coefficients. 4 terms to be underlined and kept in mind. I have to verify the relationship. To verify the relationship, I need to understand or memorize the formula. Formula is alpha plus beta is negative b by a. When I see the question, I have a habit of quickly writing down the formula related to the question. My kids or students, I also want you to follow the same technique, because that has no error. I have seen students who are just writing down all the given things from the question, and later on they'll be scratching their head analyzing what is going to be the formula to deduce the answer. So whenever you read the key aspect of the question, just make a column at one corner and write the related formula. The related formula to this question is alpha plus beta is negative b by a and alpha into beta is c by a. When we are fine with the formula, let us start working on the answer of the question. So x square plus 7x plus 10. First, splitting the middle term. First point is multiply a and c. In this position, a is 1, c is 10. My product is 10. I need to split it. 2 5s is giving me 10. When I add 2 and 5, I am getting plus 7. As simple as that. Quickly we are able to understand what is the splitting aspect of the question. Second point will be, I'll write the first term x square as it is. I'll write the last term 10 as it is. Instead of the middle term, I'll be writing the splitted factor, that is 2x plus 5x. Because it was plus 7, I have taken both the terms to be positive. If you have negative 7, you have to think what will be the sign of the factors. Just elaborating this is x into x, this is 2 into x, this is 5 into x, this is 5 into 2. I'll consider this as one term, this as one term. X is common here, so x taken out, x plus 2 retains. 5 is common here, 5 taken out, x plus 2 retains. We can quickly check whether I am right or not. X plus 2 in this corner, the same x plus 2 is there in the other corner. So I am taking x plus 2 out. x plus 5 retains. When equated to 0, x plus 2 equated to 0, x is negative 2. X plus 5 equated to 0, x is negative 5. So I will say this is my alpha, this is my beta. So this much part of the working if you have done in any of your tests, any of your FAs, periodic test, if this is a 3-mark question, you will be provided with 1.5 mark. Next 1.5 mark will be going on for the verification as well as the relationship, that is usage of this formula, which is most important, and our teachers or your teachers will be interested in knowing more about this. So whenever I have to verify, I will say first alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. I'll consider this as LHS, this as RHS. Let us substitute. What was alpha? Negative 2. What was beta? Negative 5. So both of it added together is negative 7. When I see RHS, it is negative b by a. This I will be taking down from the question here. So my question is minus already there here, and I have a 7 as b and a is 1. So this is also giving me negative 7. So LHS is equal to RHS. Therefore sum of root is verified. Coming to product of root verification, product of root is represented, here only we have written product of root is represented as alpha into beta is c by a. What is our alpha? Alpha is negative 2. What is our beta? Negative 5. Multiplied together I get positive 10. This was my RHS. Coming to LHS, C, I'll take it from the equation, that is positive 10 by A is 1. So I get the end answer as 10. Therefore, my LHS and RHS both are equal to each other. Hence, product of root is also verified. If we have a quick analyzation on what we are doing and how to proceed step by step, these questions are just a 30-second question in the paper. The time management in the paper is the most important aspect, because spending for 3 marks with 20 minutes is of no sort of working. We have to quickly understand how to write the answer in 30 seconds, 1 minute with accuracy level, and then only go ahead, save our time, so that any question which is not known to us, we can use the time that is left with us. So this was a question based on verifying the roots as well as their relationship between. Let us move on and see what is the next sort of question that we have. This question is also telling us to find the zeros of the polynomial x square minus 3. I have to find the zeros of x square minus 3. Can you tell me whether it is a quadratic polynomial or a cubic polynomial or a linear polynomial? First of all, to analyze, this is a quadratic polynomial because my variable is x and the highest power of x is 2. But if I just look at the general form, my general form of quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c, but I don't have any x component or coefficients with x in the given equation. Therefore, in this equation, a will be 1, b will be 0, c will be 1 again. C will be negative 3 looking at it. See, this is c. C is negative 3. Now I have to find the roots for this as well as I have to verify the roots. Whenever an equation is given as x square minus 3, I can easily represent this as x square minus root 3 the whole square. What is root 3 the whole square? That is 3. This is of the form identity format a square minus b square, which is expanded as a plus b into a minus b. It is not necessary that every time we have to split the middle term and find the zeros. We can even apply certain identities. We can even take certain things common so that we can easily get the alpha and beta values. In this equation, I am applying an identity called as a square minus b square. The expansion is a plus b, a minus b. I have a as x. and b as root 3. So this will be x plus root 3 into x minus root 3. When these two are equated to 0, I get the value of x as negative root 3 and positive root 3. Therefore, I will be considering this as alpha, this as beta. Now, without even using splitting the middle term, we have found the values of alpha and beta. Let us try to verify them. The verification will go for sum of roots and product of roots. Directly writing the formula, sum of root is minus b by a. This is LHS and this is my RHS. So sum of roots alpha plus beta. What is alpha? Minus root 3. What is beta? Plus root 3. So both are getting cancelled. I am getting sum of roots as 0. Going to the RHS, from the equation I have written ABC values in this corner. What is B? It is 0. By A is 1. 0 by 1 is again 0. So my LHS is equal to RHS. Hence sum of roots is verified. Coming to product of root. Product of root is determined by a formula called as alpha into beta, that is C by A. What is my alpha? Negative root 3. What is my beta? Positive root 3. When I multiply them, I get negative 3. This is my LHS. When I go to the RHS, C from the equation is negative 3 and A is 1. Negative 3 by 1 is again negative 3. So these two are equal to each other. LHS is equal to RHS. Hence we can say the product of root is also verified. So any equation provided, I can first of all simplify the equation to find alpha, beta. Then we can substitute it in the formulas of sum of root and product of root and easily verify the equation. The whole of exercise 2.2, which we are going to start, is completely based on these two topics as well as the formulas. Let us quickly go to the next question, in which you will be understanding on further part of the chapter. So whenever any question provided on alpha, beta, sum of roots or verification, now my kids are fine, I hope so, and moving on to the next content or the next topic, which is again important. In this question, we are being asked to find a quadratic polynomial. Let us underline what is asked, quadratic polynomial. They are asking us to frame a quadratic polynomial where sum and product of whose zeros are negative 3 and 2. What do I mean by sum and product of zeros? Sum is negative 3. I'll write it here. Sum of the zeros is negative 3 and product is 2. So sum means the sum of the roots, which is alpha plus beta, that is given to be negative 3. Product means product of the roots, that is alpha into beta, which is given as 2. Whenever I have to frame a polynomial, frame a quadratic polynomial, I have a general form. The general form for framing a quadratic polynomial is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So I'll just write x square as it is minus what is alpha plus beta from the question. It is negative 3 into x plus alpha into beta is 2. Substituting what is given from the question. So this equation is turning x square, negative into negative is positive 3x plus 2. So using the given sum of roots and product of root, we are able to easily frame the quadratic equation. This quadratic equation, if we split and find the sum of roots, we'll go back to the question again. So there are two important things what we have learnt here. First, when sum of root and product of root is given, I can frame a quadratic equation, or I can even find the zeros by the usage of them. Therefore, the general form is being determined and given on the board. Write it down in one corner of your page and mark it important, because this is going to be the next part of the exercise. When we are just looking into the exercise topics here, starting with exercise 2.2, in this slide, they are asking us to find the zeros of the polynomial and verify the relationship between the polynomials. Okay. First question is, in the first question, I have been given with x square minus 2x minus 8. First, I'll be interested in finding alpha and beta, correct, by using splitting the middle term. Therefore, first I have to multiply a and c, which is 1 into 8, and split this. 4 2s is 8. I need negative 2. So, minus 4 plus 2 is giving me minus 2, which is the middle term. I'll write the first term as it is, last term as it is. Instead of this, minus 4x plus 2x. Now taking things common, x is common, x minus 4, plus 2 is common, x minus 4. X minus 4 is common here, x plus 2. Both of them equated together, I get my x to be equal to 4 and negative 2. So this is alpha, this is beta. I got the values of two important person, that is alpha and beta. When we get the values of alpha and beta, we have to substitute it in the form of sum of roots and product of root. So sum of root formula, alpha plus beta negative b by a. Let us do alpha plus beta here. Alpha is 4 and beta is negative 2. So 2 is my answer. Negative b by a from the equation, minus of minus 2 divided by 1 is giving me plus 2. Therefore, LHS is equal to RHS. We have verified the first question with respect to sum of roots. Going to product of roots. Product of root is given with alpha into beta, that is c by a. Alpha into beta is c by a. My alpha is 4 and beta is negative 2. So I will get alpha into beta is negative 8. When I look at the equation, c is negative 8 and a is 1. So my answer will be negative 8. LHS is equal to RHS. Therefore, I have verified product of root as well. So these are the type of question in which each question you can solve it using the same technique of splitting the middle term and then verifying sum of roots and product of roots. This is the first main of the exercise in which we have completed the first question. Moving on to the second question. So let us now learn how to split the second question. The second question is having 4s square minus 4s plus 1. 4s square minus 4s plus 1. I have the first and the last term as 4 ones are, which is 4. Splitting it, I am getting 4 ones are or 2 twos are. So I have 4s square minus 2s plus 1. 2s common, 2s minus 1, minus 1 common, 2s minus 1. So 2s minus 1 common, I again have 2s minus 1. Hence equating to 0, I get s as plus 1 by 2 comma plus 1 by 2. Therefore, this will be my alpha, this will be my beta. When I have the values of alpha, beta, what is our next step? Finding sum of roots. That is minus b by a. So sum of roots minus plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. They are like terms, 2 by 2, which is 1. From the equation, negative of negative 4 by 4, that is positive 4 by 4, that is 1. And look at this equation. This is my A, this is my B, and this is my C. So minus B by A will give me minus of minus 4x by 4, which is 4x by 4, that is positive 1. Both are equal, hence verified. Going to product of root, alpha into beta, C by A is my formula. So alpha is 1 by 2, beta is also 1 by 2, so my product is 1 by 4. From the equation, C is 1, A is 4, so I am having 1 by 4 as my RHS as well. Therefore, both are equal. Hence, I can say whatever value of alpha and beta we are finding it out is absolutely fine, and this is going to be the process of the entire questions that is there on the screen. Third, fourth, fifth and sixth question is related to the same topic and same type of solutions. So do try these questions. If you are unable to do it, you can comment below the question number so that we can frame a video and post it in our YouTube channel. The informations provided in the channel are really informative as well as important for the students that are viewing us. So I would like you to comment below so that we can improvise the need of the student when you are sitting at your house and watching the video. What are the issues that you are facing? We'll be able to analyze and make ourselves perfect in it. Do like us, subscribers, and share our videos to your friends as well as your known community so that it will increase the value of the product as well as it will increase, and you will also get to know that Sandhya ma'am is teaching you maths and science. Alright, moving on to the second exercise with 2.2 second main, the last part of the chapter. Alright, just not prolonging it too long, we'll complete it in a quick manner, not to worry about it. We have come to the end part of the chapter in which the second main of 2.2 is just left. Just taking 10 minutes more of yours and completing this chapter so that we are full-fledgedly understanding about polynomials in a right manner. Alright, the second main is analyzing or asking us to analyze about finding a quadratic polynomial where sum and product of the zeros are given. Just few minutes before, we have learned the general form of framing a quadratic polynomial. What is it? The general form is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. This is my general form. They have also specified that the sum and product of zeros are given. That means if I take the first question is 1 by 4 comma negative 1. This will be my sum of roots, that is alpha plus beta. This will be my product of root, that is alpha into beta. So two things already specified in the question. I have to just substitute it here and find an equation. Very simple question. Let us just do it here. So x square minus sum of root is 1 by 4x plus alpha beta is negative 1. When I elaborate, x square minus 1x minus 1 and taking LCM throughout, this is giving me 4x square minus 1x and minus 4. Therefore, we'll write 1 by 4 of 4x square minus 1x minus 4 is the equation or the quadratic equation framed when my sum of root is 1 by 4, product of root is negative 1. So, if I just memorize this one simple formula out of the whole given second main, I can easily do all the questions required from the textbook. So I'll just go to the third question here. In the third question, 0 and root 5 is given. So now you tell me, what is 0? Is it the sum of root or product of root? So we will just analyze the first term as sum of root, which is alpha plus beta. The second term given to be the product of root, which is alpha into beta. Putting these values in the general form, x square minus sum of root into x plus product of root. What is the equation turning to? X square plus root 5 equal to 0. This will be my equation framed when one sum of root is 0 and product of root is root 5. In a similar manner, I can go for the second question, fourth question, fifth question and sixth question, which is absolutely similar. You can try. If you are not getting, do comment us. We will be providing you the solutions in no time. So this was a chapter called as Polynomial of Class 10 syllabus, the second chapter of maths, in which we have learnt many terminologies, many formulas, and also covered NCERT exercises 2.1 and 2.2. By just watching 3 different parts or sessions of polynomial video, you will be able to crack board exam questions in no time. So do like us, subscribe us, and this is Sandhya Srihari from Vidhyapeetha 9th and 10th. Thank you for watching.